Hello everyone, it's Louisa, and in today's video, I am going to be telling you what I think if the Taylor Swift albums were Disney princesses, what Disney princesses would they be? I am so excited for this video because it combines two of my favorite things, Taylor Swift and her music, and the Disney princesses / Disney. So put them together, powerful pairing. I'm so excited for this video. So basically what I'm going to be doing is I assigned each of the Taylor Swift albums to a Disney princess that I felt best represented that album, and I think it'll be really fun. You know, there are different eras of Taylor Swift, as you can see on my shirt, and it'll just be kind of interesting. I feel like her albums tell a story, they bring out a different side of her personality. Before I launch into this, I will say that I'm only counting the first movie of each Disney princess. So if they had a sequel, TV show, we're not counting it, that's not fair. Some of these women got very limited screen time, so we're only counting their first movie as a reason for why I chose these selections. And then the only other thing is that I am not counting their live action movie. So if they have had a live action movie of them recently, I'm not counting it because again, that's just more screen time and a different version. So I'm going off of the animated classics for these Disney princesses. And anyone that was a Disney princess officially considered in the line was considered for this project. But not all of them were used. Taylor only has 9 albums. All right, let's just launch right on into it. So if Taylor Swift's album, her very first one, self-titled Taylor Swift, was a Disney princess, which one would it be? And it's Ariel from The Little Mermaid. And I know what everyone is going to say. Ariel should be 1989 because The Little Mermaid came out in 1989. No. I am not going to give 1989 Ariel just because of that thing. Ariel's personality matches the album Taylor Swift a lot more, and let me explain why. I have notes for this video, y'all. I have research. I have things to back up my claims, okay? I have receipts. Okay. So why does Ariel represent this album well? Number one, Taylor was 16 when this album was released. Ariel is 16 in The Little Mermaid. Now, the song, Our Song, on that album, I totally think that Ariel would go up to Eric and be like, Eric, you know, I hear people talking about our song. Like, what's an our song? And he'd be like, oh, it's like a couple thing, Ariel. And she'd be like, oh, Eric, I want us to have a song. So I feel like that song, I feel totally that's right up Ariel's alley. On her very first album, Taylor has some, you know, kind of some angry hits, such as Picture to Burn, Should Have Said No. And I do think that Ariel is one of those Disney princesses where, you know, they're all very nice and sweet. Do not get me wrong. But I think Ariel, if she got really upset, could sing some of those songs. I think she'd be like, as far as I'm concerned, you're just another picture to burn. Because she knows what the word burn is. What's the word burn? See, the parallels are ridiculous. And I feel like the song The Outside really fits to Ariel's situation crushing on Eric. And there's a key lyric in this song that I feel like really fits with Ariel's story. And it goes, you saw me there, but never knew that I would give it all up to be a part of this, a part of you. So again, Ariel signed a contract with old Ursula just to have a chance to be a human. So, and Eric doesn't, you know that for a good portion of the movie. Let's move on to Taylor Swift's second album, and that is good old Fearless. So if the album Fearless was a Disney princess, which one would it be? I'm gonna say that it would be Snow White. And the reason why, first of all, Snow White is actually directly mentioned in the song The Best Day on this album. There's actually 2 lyrics that kind of mention Snow White, the Snow White story. The first one is, don't know if Snow White's house is near or far away. And then the other one is, it's the age of princesses and pirate ships and the 7 dwarfs. I'm going to be doing a lot of singing today in case you didn't notice because, you know, copyright. You don't get copyright I'm the one singing. It's a cappella. Another reason is because Fearless is actually considered to be Taylor's most naive album. I think now that out of her 9 albums, I think that's a critique a lot of people have of Fearless, which is interesting because it's not her first album. It's not the first album that she wrote. But Snow White is also considered to be the most naive Disney princess, and that's not her fault. I mean, she was the very first one. She doesn't get that much screen time. There's not a lot to her personality-wise. And so, I mean, the movie's runtime was, you know, pretty short, and it was the very first time Disney made a Disney princess movie. So, you know, there's not a lot of depth to her, but I think if you flesh out that character more, you would definitely see that there is more to her, obviously, like the Fearless album. Now let's move on to Speak Now. If the Speak Now album was a Disney princess, I hands down think that it would be Cinderella. And the main reason for this is basically the entire song Enchanted fits the whole ballroom, her meeting Prince Charming scene. I mean, it really works. A key lyric from Enchanted that I think really fits the Cinderella story is, "Your eyes whispered, have we met? Across the room your silhouette starts to make its way to me." I think that the song Mean totally works for how Cinderella feels about Lady Tremaine and how mean she is. I think that totally works. Now, I don't really see Cinderella singing Better Than Revenge. I feel like that's kind of a zesty song that she wouldn't sing, but I feel like one of her stepsisters would. So, yes. And there are gonna be some songs on these albums that are complete outliers, but overall, I do feel like Speak Now is a very Cinderella album. The next album is Red, and Red is actually my favorite Taylor Swift album, so I'm a little fond of this one. And this is actually the last one I kind of figured out or assigned, so I'm curious to see what your guys' thoughts are. But if the Red album was a Disney princess, I think that it would be Tiana from The Princess and the Frog. Now, the reason I say this is because, one, Tiana could rock a red lip. Not every Disney princess, I think, can rock a red lip, but she is one of them. I Knew You Were Trouble. I mean, Tiana knew that the Shadow Man was trouble, that Dr. Facilier was trouble, so I mean, that song works. This is also kind of a controversial opinion, or not maybe controversial, but definitely one that could be discussed in the comments below about which of the Disney princesses do you think is the most mature? I think that would be kind of an interesting discussion. I think Tiana may be the most mature Disney princess. Debatably, I think she's up there with like Belle and Elsa, but All Too Well is considered Taylor Swift's best song, her most emotional song. Originally was like over 20 minutes long. I don't really feel like any of the other Disney princesses could handle writing and singing that song quite like Tiana. So that's why I feel like if someone can handle it, it would be Tiana. I feel like the other Disney princesses would just be sobbing while writing it and they could like never perform it. So that's just me. The song Begin Again, there's a lyric that says, "And on a Wednesday in a cafe, I watched it begin again." Tiana, cafes, food, ba-boom, parallels. And then what's interesting is the song Starlight, I feel like really kind of works for Tiana. So one of the first lyrics of the song mentions summer of 45. And what's unique about The Princess and the Frog and Tiana's story is that it happens kind of closer in history to modern day than like all of the other fairy tales. The other fairy tales were like written like hundreds of years ago and whatnot. But I believe that Tiana's story is supposed to take place like 1920s-ish. And so summer of 45, I believe she is talking about summer of 1945. So that's actually pretty close. And then there's a lyric in the song Starlight that says, "The whole place was dressed to the nines and we were dancing, dancing like we're made of starlight, starlight." I'm really extra. I'm sorry, I'm a Leo. But that is like the end of that movie where they are all dancing around and they're dressed so fabulously at Tiana's place and, you know, in her restaurant, and she has done her thing. She's killing it. That song just like works. So I definitely didn't think that I would say Tiana is the Red album, but I think I think she's the one that fits. I don't know. Next album is 1989. And if the album 1989 was a Disney princess, which one would it be? I say that it's Princess Aurora / Briar Rose / Sleeping Beauty, the Disney princess with a lot of names. Not Ariel. I have several reasons why I think this works. One of them is that Taylor, for song number 5 on that album, All You Had to Do Was Stay, Taylor actually said, you know, she had written this song and she couldn't, just something was off about it. It wasn't quite right. And so she actually finally figured out in a dream what she needed to do, and like she woke up and then she finished the song and it all worked out. And she heard like the super high note that's in the song, because it goes, all you had to do was stay, and she experienced that in a dream, and that's how she finished the song. So I thought that totally pairs with Sleeping Beauty. You know, Taylor got her inspiration while she was sleeping to figure out that one song, so I think that really works. The song's style talks about, you know, never going out of style. And let's be honest, Princess Aurora's dress, whether it is pink or it is blue, never goes out of style. Either color, it works all the time. Out of the Woods really works for her because her and Philip meet in the woods, and that's pretty much where they interact. So I think that works out well. And she grows up in the woods, and then it's like, surprise, you're actually a princess and your parents live at the castle, and she goes out of the woods and she's like, oh my God. I think it works. And then last reasoning is the song This Love, and there's a lyric that said, this love came back to me, oh. Prince Philip does come back to her. I mean, after she meets him in the forest, she's like, I'm never gonna see him again when she goes to the castle, because, you know, there you go. But then he slays the dragon and he wakes her up and she's like, it's you came back. Totally works. We're moving on to the next album, which is Reputation. If Reputation was a Disney princess, which one would it be? It's totally, absolutely Belle. Main reason being is that Taylor Swift wrote this entire album, really. It's about the concept of her reputation, of course, obviously, hence by the name, but it's talking about that and just like how she was portrayed in the media and all this other stuff. But then the second half of the album is really about falling in love with someone and finding someone, even with what was going on about her in the tabloids and everything like that. And that is so Belle. Like, come on, let's look at the song Belle at the beginning of Beauty and the Beast. The townspeople are like, a beauty but a funny girl. You know, they say stuff about her. Belle has her own reputation in the town, right? And then she finds love. Granted, it's outside of the town, but you know, like, she goes off and she finds love. So I feel like this whole album, the whole theming of it, really fits to Belle's story. That's kind of the main parallel, but I mean, come on. Belle in French means beauty, pretty, all that stuff. And there's a song on the album called Gorgeous. I mean, the parallels there, okay? Now we're gonna move on to the album Lover. If Lover was a Disney princess, which one would it be? I'm gonna say that it's Mulan. And the main reason is because of the song, The Man, okay? You know Mulan is like, if I were a man, things would be so much easier, her entire story, okay? That song really fits, obviously. And then one of the main reasons I went with Lover for Mulan is that there is a pop song in the credits of Mulan that was done by 98 Degrees featuring Stevie Wonder, and it's True to Your Heart, but it's just like a poppy, nice vibe. And I feel like that's what Lover is. It's really a fun pop album, and I feel like that really fits Mulan. The song I Forgot That You Existed, I feel like fits to Mulan's story, because does anyone remember Shan Yu after that movie? No. I feel like he's a very not talked about Disney villain at all. I mean, he didn't even make it to the live action. We're not talking about live actions, but if we were, he didn't make it in there. The Archer really fits Mulan. I mean, there's a lyric, combat, I'm ready for combat. I mean, is Mulan the only Disney princess that like goes into combat? Yeah, like that works perfectly. And then there's also a lyric in The Archer that says, can you see right through me? I see right through me. I see right through me. But it's talking about seeing through. And, you know, the whole time of the movie, it's like, can you see that I'm a girl? Like, can you see through me? There you go. And then the other reason is that I could totally see her singing Me with the guys. Like if the Mulan animated movie came out right now in 2021 and they had to only include pop songs that were out now, I feel like there would definitely be a scene of Mulan singing Me with, you know, the other soldiers or whatnot. I think that I think that'd be funny. I see that. Next is the album Folklore, and if Folklore was a Disney princess or a Disney queen, I would say that it is Elsa. One of the main reasons is that Taylor wrote this while she was in isolation, like most of us, and Elsa spends a good portion of Frozen 1 in isolation. The main songs that I think fit Elsa on this album are This Is Me Trying and Peace. This Is Me Trying, Taylor said she wrote it for people that were struggling with depression, you know, fighting addictions, and I feel like this song really represents how Elsa feels. Like she's really trying to control her powers and everything like that, but it feels like she doesn't get very far with it. And so I feel like that's a really good song that ties to Elsa. And then the song Peace is talking about how, you know, there's always going to be other things and you could never really bring someone peace. And I think the key lyric that is key to Elsa is, would it be enough if I could never give you peace? And I feel like she would sing that to Anna. I mean, because she's always going to have these powers that Anna doesn't have, and it might not ever bring her peace. And Anna still does love her, even though she can never bring her peace. So. And then the most recent Taylor Swift album is Evermore. And if Evermore was a Disney princess, I think that it would be Pocahontas. And again, I'm going off of just the animated movie, the first one. I'm not talking about the actual historical person, Pocahontas, okay? Okay, good talk. Main reason, the song, Gold Rush. The lyric is, I don't like a gold rush. In Pocahontas, the people from England literally come to dig up gold all over Pocahontas and her people's land. So she does not like a gold rush. They do not like a gold rush, no. Also, I feel like that song works with the lyric, your hair falling into place like dominoes. Could be talking about John Smith's hair in that movie. He has some great hair. Maybe the best hair out of any Disney prince, questionably. I don't know. It's pretty swarthy, pretty nice. And then Pocahontas has a grandmother, Willow, and Willow was the first single off of Evermore. And Taylor actually has a song written about her grandmother called Marjorie on Evermore as well. And that's it. Do you guys agree with my picks? Did I leave out a Disney princess that you feel like, you know, fits better than one I did put in? I don't know. I would love to hear your comments and see what you guys think down below. I could talk about this forever. It's such a niche topic, but I could talk about it forever. But thank you all so much for watching, especially if you got to this point. You are the best. Thank you so much. Please give this video a like if you enjoyed it. And again, comment down below what you thought, what you agreed with, what you didn't. I'd love to chat with you guys. And if you want to see more videos like this, please hit that subscribe button. I upload every Tuesday and Saturday. And if you want even more of me, you can follow me on Instagram at louisa.ruby. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you soon with a brand new video. Bye!